What's going on, guys? Welcome to the first post-game live of the LA Clippers 2025-26 season here on Dime Dropper. We are live from Los Angeles as always. Super chats are turned on if you want to drop $1 or a dime. Any donation is appreciated for your boy. All things LA pro basketball and LA sports on here. Thank you for joining me for season 6. Of course, you can also be a member of the channel. That entitles you to special perks. You can skip the line at post-game interviews if you actually attend games, and you'll be entitled to special giveaways very, very soon. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is my 21st year as a Clipper fan. And I can't recall. We'll look at all 21 opening days that I've witnessed as a fan. But none were worse than that. I'll tell you something right now. The greatest thing I ever did for my life was when we got James Harden. I said, you know what? Fuck this. I should not care about this team anymore. I should not live and die for this team anymore. I'm just going to watch the games, expect the worst, and whatever happens, happens. Because it's not worth caring so much about this team. It is not. And guess what? You might be thinking, oh my God, here you go again. Dime crashing out in game 1. No. I still think we're going to be the 3rd seed. I still think we're going to win 55 games. Appreciate my boy. Lakers world order. Only Clips fan I like. Appreciate that. Of course, remember to subscribe. We're 6 subscribers away from 13,000. That would be special to hit that mark tomorrow. And of course, you can also listen to this podcast on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. But man, it's only one game. I've been an NBA fan for 21 years. So I'm not the type of guy that's going to overreact in the sense that I'm not wavering on my prediction. We're still going to be a top 3 seed. We're still going to win over 50 games. But that was a complete embarrassment. First of all, I want to just say to any parents or people that have kids that are playing this episode right now, turn it off for your kids. Just listen to Locked On Clippers because I'm about to fucking cuss up a storm right now. That was pathetic. Pathetic. You know, there's one thing for the Utah trash, who weren't that trash tonight, by the way, but I said they were going to be the worst team in the Western Conference by a significant margin. All their guys are young. They're a total rebuilding team. And they came out and made us look like a bunch of old has-beens. I did mention this in the lead up to this game, that Utah is a very dangerous place to play. Very dangerous place to play. Because sometimes they just have these magnet ball games where everything goes in, and tonight was one of those nights. But you have to do your part. You know, I have a club team. I have a business. I have my school teams. I coach because I could not take any longer to watch these motherfuckers go out and embarrass themselves and look like they don't care all the time and choke and whatever it may be. So I had to go start my own culture because I love this game so much. So now I don't care as much. But for all the fans who were waiting for this game, one person I follow said it's like Christmas morning. For all those fans that are waiting like that, you come out and lay an egg like that? The first quarter was the biggest joke of all. Outscored 19-43. What did we do well? 7 live ball turnovers. Nobody boxing out. Nobody trying to stay in front of the ball. No communication. Look, I'm going to go about the X's and O's and talk about the specifics, but there is sometimes not much analysis you need other than we did not want to play tonight. We should have fucking stayed home and not even shown up. We should have just let Kobe Sanders and Yannick and Cam Christie and all those guys play, because the starting lineup was an abomination to start the game. Let's begin with the person I was most disappointed in. You know, honestly, the NBA should have suspended Kawhi if he was going to play like that. I would have rather him sat the fuck home. What was that? You know, I thought it was interesting that we started Derrick Jones Jr., right? Because the way that Utah plays, they actually play Walker. They have three bigs damn near: Walker Kessler, Filipowski, and Larry Markkinen. So they actually start like 3 7-footers. So that actually would have been a perfect scenario to play John Collins and start him. Kawhi Leonard didn't want any part of Larry Markkinen. Dude got completely bitched by him. Not boxing out. First play of the game, he gets switched on to Filipowski and doesn't even see the ball as it's going and hits the rim. Doesn't even see the ball. They get an offensive rebound and they score. Then in transition, Kawhi is pointing for someone to take his man, and Ivica Zubac is just sitting there in no man's land, not even realizing what's going on. Twice, Ivica Zubac just let somebody come behind him, and he didn't do shit. Where's the urgency? And then 2 times on sideline out of bounds, we throw these soft-ass passes. 2 times in the first quarter on these sideline out of bounds, we throw these soft-ass passes. And then what about these soft handoffs we were throwing in the half court? Are you guys okay in the head? What the fuck did you guys do last night? I know you're not partying in Utah, but they looked like, and credit to Will Hardy and his coaching staff, because you know what they said before the game? I can probably paraphrase it. Hey, these guys are old as shit. Let's run them out the gym. Let's get physical with them. We're going to hedge every ball screen. We're going to rotate on the backside with our size, and we're going to force them to swing the ball, and we're going to just use our quickness and our athleticism to speed up everything they do. We're going to crash the offensive glass, and we're going to run these boys out the gym. And they made us look geriatric. And there's no excuse for us. I don't care how old we are. And maybe there is a matchup part of this, but this is the first game of the season. There's no fatigue factor. You've been waiting for this. And you come out and play like that in the first quarter? Disgraceful. What was Kawhi doing tonight? Like, he didn't even play. And I think there's a part of it where I talked about in the summer, we need to play like a Kawhi Leonard team. That means feed him early, get him going early. We gave him the ball a little bit in the first quarter. He shot like 3 times. This man played 29 minutes and shot 9 shots, and 5 of them were threes, and it's like he's just sitting in the corner. Like, are we respecting Kawhi Leonard for who he is? Because I'm not going to make excuses for him. He was terrible. But our approach throughout the game, and I think I put this partially on the coaches, he needs to be our leading shot taker. He's looking like a role player. And, I think it was really smart for the Jazz to hedge the ball screens, because what they did was they have so much size on the backside with like the 3 big men. So they have like extra rim protection. So it's not a big deal if Walker Kessler gets, pulled out the perimeter. They have Larry Markkinen and Filipowski on the backside, and they were doing a pretty good job. But I thought our approach in terms of trying to get Kawhi going was non-existent. And honestly, if they're going to hedge ball screens like that, then we need to move the ball faster and shoot open threes. How many times did we pass up open threes and hesitate tonight? Like being too unselfish or not swinging the ball quickly enough and making the extra pass. Like, it was ridiculous. We need to let it fly without hesitation. Like when Cam Christie came in the game, he was letting it fly without hesitation. And that's one thing I will say about Chris Paul. And you saw it tonight. His catch and shoot, like his load up for his shot, is so slow that he doesn't get shots off quickly enough when he's off ball, which is part of why he's not good off ball. And then James Harden's always hesitant to shoot catch and shoot threes. Kawhi was hesitant to shoot. Even Brook Lopez, who shot 10 3-pointers or 11 3-pointers in this game, was hesitant at times to shoot. And Chris Dunn's going to be scared to shoot. I mean, we got to make more confident decisions. Let it fly or swing that shit quick. Chris Paul and James Harden are like taking 2 to 3 dribbles too many sometimes. And I thought James Harden was the least of our garbage tonight. He was better than most. He still had a double-double, 15 and 11. But defensively, that's the biggest thing I want to talk about. Defensively, we were pathetic. And we made our mark on defense last year. And we started Derrick Jones Jr. for point of attack. But what's interesting about this Utah team is they don't have a point of attack guard. Their best one is Keontae George. They play with this very interesting, 3 big kind of thing. And you have to be ready to match their physicality and their athleticism. And you got to give a lot of credit to guys like Bryce Sensabaugh, who we made look like a fucking all-star tonight. 20 points for him. Walter Clayton in his first NBA game had 10 points. And then you had Lowry with 20, and then Walker Kessler shooting threes. Where did that come from? He made 6 threes all of last season, then he made 2 in the first quarter. So I'll give him credit. And that part, I'm not mad at our team because we didn't know he was going to come out and start raining threes like that. That was not on the scouting report. But they were not missing. They finished shooting 39% from 3, but they legitimately were not missing. However, you cannot come out and not play defense and underestimate your opponent and let a young team get confidence like that. Because especially when it's opening night and everyone's 0-0, just because me and analysts and people in Vegas thinks that they're going to be the worst team in the West, that doesn't mean that they internally think they're going to be the worst team in the West. They're going to come out and try to win every game, especially when it's the first game of the season. So we need to set a tone defensively. Don't give them any hope. We didn't just give them hope. We gave them major confidence to start the game, and they never wavered. They were on our asses. They were putting ball pressure on us. They were denying every sideline out of bounds pass. They were hedging on the ball screens and rotating with intensity. They were going at us on offense. We were not ready to stay in front of the ball tonight. Kawhi Leonard gambling early in the game, jogging, getting over screens. Like, what the fuck, dude? All this hype about you're healthy, you're ready to go, and you come out and play like that? Embarrassing. And then James Harden, you already know James Harden's not just going to reach on defense, Mr. Gamble. Yeah, like, I'm so sick and tired of that lazy ass shit, dude. I'm so sick and tired of that. Just gambling left and right on defense, man. And then Zoo being unaware of who's behind him at the basket twice in the first quarter and not boxing out. The effort on the boards tonight was an absolute disgrace. Nobody boxing out. Not Brook Lopez, not Zoo, not Kawhi, not Plumber Jim, not anyone. Pathetic to come out like that. And again, it's a long season. We're playing on Friday. I'll be there. If we bounce back, this will be a distant memory. But it's not going to be a distant memory because it's just the tone you set to start a season. I'm not saying it's going to have a lingering effect, but it's just fucked up to all the fans. How can you come out like that? And then Ty Lue says, I accept responsibility for that bullshit? No. Maybe he didn't coach a perfect game, but there's no excuse. If you're not ready to go for the first game of the season, what the fuck are you in the NBA for? You have James Harden talked about, we got to hit the ground running. You got the worst team in the Western Conference on paper in the first game of the season, and you play like that? Everyone should be ashamed. Everyone should be ashamed. Chris Dunn getting blown by. Derrick Jones Jr. in the first half couldn't guard without fouling. Nobody could stay in front of the ball. Nobody. An absolute embarrassment. And the matchups, Zoo on Walker Kessler to start the game. Derrick Jones was splitting his time with Svi Mikhailuk and Keontae George with Bradley Beal. And then Kawhi on Lauri Markkanen and James Harden on Filipowski. Honestly, this is why I said we should just put Beal on the bench, because there were times with that second unit where I felt like we were just too reliant on Chris Paul, Brook Lopez, pick and pop, and then like John Collins ISO. And I think having Brad in there will spice things up. Of course, you could play Bogey, and that was one thing to watch is we had an 11-man rotation, and we figured who's going to be the odd man out. I said it should be Bogey, and it was Bogey. So I don't have a problem with that. I would have done the same thing. If this continues and let's say we stay healthy, Bogey's probably going to end up getting traded at the deadline because his team is going to want, his management team is going to want, and he's going to want to play. He's too good to be sitting on the bench. But there's going to inevitably be injuries and load management, and he's going to play. But if everyone's healthy and he's the odd man out, he might want to request a trade. Now, you can argue that Bogey should have played tonight, just given the result. I mean, we got our asses handed to us, so you can question everything. But I wouldn't go that far. I think the players that play just need to be better. But this is why I said Beal should come off the bench, and then we should start John Collins. Because I'm tired of watching Kawhi play against bigger guys like that if he's not going to try. If he's not going to box out, if he's not going to get physical, then no, just go guard some ass player then if you're going to do that. I mean, it was embarrassing. As far as their matchups, they had Lowry on Kawhi, Svi Mikhailuk on James Harden, Keontae George on Brad Beal, Filipowski on DJ, and Walker Kessler on Ivica Zubac. I mentioned the hedging of the ball screens. It was a very good idea. It took us out of our rhythm and forced us to swing the ball quick, which we did not do well enough, and we have to let it fly. I marked down some of the plays with Kawhi. I'll probably pull them up so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Because if anyone wants to defend that performance from Kawhi tonight, then you're just, in my opinion, an apologist that's delusional. You're not willing to admit the truth. He was first possession, he allows an offensive rebound. Then he gets beat backdoor on a lob by Lauri Markkanen, playing him on the top side. Then he gambled for a steal, getting over a screen. Then he just jogging casually around a pick that Lauri Markkanen scored again. It's like he just got his ass handed to him. Lauri had 10 points early on. There was a clear lack of talking on D, which does come with, there is a new player in there, but it's one guy. It's Bradley Beal. There's no excuse for that many defensive miscommunications. There's not. Then, as I put in my notes, James Harden in the first quarter was looking the best. He had 5 points. He had that mid-range in the corner. Then he had that three when the Jazz went zone for a possession. Had a nice dime to Ivica Zubac, which was like our only moment where we like forced a timeout. We made it 14-19. And then Walker Kessler made those threes. The two sideline out of bounds turnovers were ridiculous, but 6 live ball turnovers in the first quarter, and the Jazz had 14 points off of them. We went with that total bench lineup, and I think they did a little better than the starters, but like, what is that saying when they were so disgraceful? But Utah was playing perfectly. Like, there is an element of the fact that they were hitting every shot. You can say that we gave them confidence, but they just played amazing. Is that going to be a consistent thing for them going forward this season? Probably not. Probably not. I still think they're going to be the worst team in the West. But they came out and played really well. Everyone was making threes, and some of them were contested. Like, some of them were not easy shots. So that part is like, you just got to hand them their respect. They outscored us 43-19 in the first, and we were, 9 first quarter turnovers. And then when Brook Lopez came in, it took him a while to get going, but he came in and was just like these soft ass handoffs and passes. I'm like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Like, and I love Brook Lopez. I've been raving about him on Locked On Clips. I've always loved him, but like, dude, where's the urgency? And then there was so many turnovers where we're just like throwing the ball to guys that are not even looking for the ball. That one possession in the third quarter where I forget who it was, threw the ball and Kawhi had his back turned. They stole the ball and they had a wide open dunk and nobody bothered to get back. I literally was about to break my remote. Like, it was an absolute joke. Look at the ball, please. And don't throw it to someone when their back is turned. Like, these were preseason mistakes. On opening night. Finally, Brook Lopez, though, started getting going with 3 3-pointers. As far as rotations, Brook Lopez and Chris Dunn stayed in the longest as the starters came back in. We went on a 14-6 run at one point of that second quarter. And then we tried a different defensive strategy. We tried putting James Harden on Walker Kessler so we could switch the pick and rolls because they were causing so much damage, which is ridiculous. It's like the 24th best offense in the league last year, and we were the 3rd best defense. And nobody could stay in front. DJ had 3 fouls in the first half. And the hesitating on open threes, I already mentioned that. But I thought Zoo looked better as the game went on. He had a deep seal dunk in the second quarter, nice finish around the rim, and one putback, a nice little jump hook. So he started getting going a little bit better, like a little bit more. But Sensabaugh was on fire. I'd never seen him play like that. Then Kessler was 6 for 6 in the first half. And I just thought we weren't playing through Kawhi at all. Like, I can be critical I can be super critical about him, but we need to like treat him like our best player. Like, if we want to treat this like a James Harden team and not a Kawhi team, then we're only going to go so far. We need to play like this is a James Harden team. I'm sorry, a Kawhi Leonard team. I know James Harden played better than him, but we got to live or die with Kawhi. And if they're going to be hedging on the ball screens, they're drawing 2 to the ball. So we should learn less pick and rolls and more ISOs, and just they're going to probably double and help, and then we get open threes. But it's less swinging. It's more, I can't believe I'm saying this, but in isolation, we honestly needed more standstill, wide open threes as opposed to the blitzing of the ball, throwing it to the short roller, then swinging it, and then Utah's closing out and we were scrambling and stuff. Because then another thing is Chris Dunn gets run off the line and he doesn't want to shoot the floater that much. He doesn't want to shoot the mid-range. It's like, if you only are going to shoot in the paint and threes, you're going to get found out, unfortunately. So Yeah, and then this is when I knew the game was over, because we cut it down to 20, and then they went on an 11-0 run to end the half and had that ridiculous shot. I think it was Keontae George to beat the buzzer at the end of the second quarter. And we, at halftime, they were 12 for 21 from three. 12 for 21 from three, and had 22 assists. Like, they were just unbelievable. And in the third quarter, I was just like, let's see what's said at halftime. Let's see if you come out with a different intensity. Same bullshit. Not boxing out, throwing the ball away. You don't want it. You don't want it. Like, there's nothing else to say about it. Somebody that I think actually showed that he cared tonight, though, in the second half was Derrick Jones Jr. He had that nice dunk. He had that nice run out and one. He showed some fight. John Collins also showed some fight, had some nice finishes around the basket in the second half, putbacks and all that. But, Lawler's Law in the third quarter. Lawler's Law in the third quarter. And then I thought Cam Christie came in and actually was playing hard, had some deflections, wasn't hesitating on his threes, got an offensive rebound. So there's nothing more to say. It was a disgrace. And we need to be better on Friday, and I think we will be better on Friday. And I think the fans are going to make a difference. We're going to, pump up the boys. And I think we're a good team, and we're going to respond from that. But that was a disgrace. 129 to 108 is the final score in favor of the Utah Trash, which tonight we're the Trash. We got outscored in every quarter except for this. Actually, third and fourth quarter, we outscored them, but they outscored us 35-28 in the second. We outscored them 33-30 in the third, and then 28-21 in the fourth. We shot 44% from the field. They shot 55%. We shot 31% from three, 14 for 45, and they shot 39% from three. Like, there are moments where we're passing up wide open threes, and then we'll take like a contested or a step back three. James Harden in particular. It happened like once or twice, though. But in terms of James Harden, but in general, we're passing up open threes. And then late shot clock, we're taking a contested one. It's like, dude. And then free throws, we actually almost shot the same amount as them. They shot 39% from three, by the way. We shot 21 free throws. They shot 20. We shot 76% from the line. They shot 80. It's funny because we ended up with more offensive rebounds than them, but that's a fool's gold stat because I don't even know. Like, that game was over by the middle of the third quarter. So anything that happened after that is bullshit. We didn't lead for 1 second of this game. We were down by as many as 37. Let's read the lines. For Utah, Yusuf Nurkic in his Jazz debut had 8 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, and a turnover. Taylor Hendricks, he played really well. This is his third season. He was the 9th overall pick in the 2023 draft. And he only played 3 games last year. So maybe this will be his best season. He had 13 points and 5 rebounds on 4 for 6 shooting, 2 for 3 from deep, and 3 for 4 from the foul line. So for a guy who shot 25% in his 3 games last year and his first season, he did shoot 38% in his first season. But he was pretty lights out tonight. And then Walter Clayton Jr., great debut for him. 10 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals. There was one play where he missed a shot and he followed it up. Chris Dunn didn't even box out. Like, if Chris Dunn and Derrick Jones Jr. aren't staying in front of the ball, then we're in for a rough night. He shot 4 for 8 from the field, 1 for 3 from deep, and made his only free throw. Ace Bailey was 1 for 5 from the field and 0 for 2 from 3, the 5th overall pick in this year's draft. But I thought he showed some athleticism and some good stuff. He'll be a fun player to watch. He was on a little bit of a minute restriction. 2 points, 4 boards, 2 assists for him, 1 turnover. And then, that's all the bench guys. Then Bryce Sensabaugh. How could I forget? 20 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, and 1 steal, 1 turnover on 7 for 13 shooting, 3 for 7 from 3, and made all 3 of his free throws. The Jazz got 53 points off their bench. Then the starters, who all played 25 minutes or more, or 24 minutes or more. Svi Mikhailuk took 4 shots. All of them were threes. He was 3 for 4 from deep. 9 points, 1 rebound, 3 assists, and a steal, and no turnovers for him. Kyle Filipowski had 9 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 block on 4 for 10 shooting, and 1 for 6 from 3. So if you take away he and Keontae George, who are a combined 2 for 13 from 3, the rest of the team was like ridiculous. Keontae George, he played really well, though. 16 points, 2 rebounds, 9 assists, 2 steals on 6 for 12 shooting, and 1 for 7 from 3 and 3 for 4 from the foul line. The 16th pick in the 2023 draft. And then Lauri Markkanen. It's a shame that he's playing in Utah because he's really, really good. He's just a very interesting player because he'll like come off screens and knock down threes at like 7 feet tall. So he's just an interesting player. 20 points. And he's given us a lot of problems since he's been with Utah. 20 points, 6 boards, 5 assists, 1 turnover on 8 for 13 shooting and 4 for 7 from 3. Walker Kessler finished with 22 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, 4 blocks, and just 1 turnover on perfect 7 for 7 shooting, 2 for 2 from deep, and 6 for 8 from the foul line. So I think he's the player of the game for me. With that 100% shooting night and 6 stocks, you got to give it to him. And then for the Bozo convention, the Clippers. Bro, what? Hold on a second. I'm sorry. I have to read this comment. How are you going to blame Kawhi for this? He played well. Ty Lue just didn't give him the ball. In what universe did Kawhi Leonard play well? Ty Lue didn't give him the ball. I just said that we should have run more plays through him, but he's not on the fucking court. See, somebody that makes a comment like that is a Kawhi Leonard stan. He's an excuse maker, and I don't like. That's the only comment that's going to be answered from you tonight because that's absurd. Absolutely absurd. Absolutely absurd. Don't even try. My goodness. All right, let's read the lines. I'm not even going to read Kobe Sanders and Kobe Brown. They had a combined 2 points, and Yannick had 4 points. It doesn't really matter. Cam Christie had 5 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist in 8 minutes, but let's subtract them. We got 36 points off our bench tonight. So we got outscored thoroughly in that department. Let's go with Chris Paul first. He played 15 minutes, and it wasn't very pretty. I thought he was slow to make passes out of the pick and roll when they hedged. I thought he was hesitant to take catch and shoot threes. He looked old compared to them and slower and less athletic, which he is. Chris Paul's going to crush drop coverage, but I would honestly hedge the ball screens with him more. This is what I would do against the Clippers. I would hedge the pick and pop with Lopez and then have someone rotate over to him and then leave Chris Dunn. That's what I would do. Leave Chris Dunn, hedge over or send whoever's guarding Chris Dunn over to Lopez until the center can get back to Brook. Then I would go back and recover. I would do it every time because it takes away Chris Paul getting downhill and getting into that mid-range. That's what I would do. But yeah, 1 for 5 in his return, 1 for 4 from 3. And you know what the funny part is? It's not funny, actually. We're going to be playing against a very athletic Portland Trailblazers team, young, on Friday, and they might get after us, and we'll see with Chris Paul. Because I'm really hoping that it's going to be a big emotional game for Chris. He's back in LA, first game at the Intuit Dome as a Clipper. We're all going to be chanting CP3. We're all going to go nuts when he checks in the game. It's going to be a special moment. But we need to win it, man. We need to win that game. So, yeah, Chris wasn't good. 4 points, 4 assists, a turnover, 1 for 5 from the field, and 1 for 4 from 3. Nico, not great either. 3 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 1 block, no turnovers, 1 for 4 from the field, and all his shots were threes. Chris Dunn, 0 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 2 turnovers on 0 for 3 shooting and 0 for 1 from 3. Thought he was not good enough. Didn't box out like normal. He got 5 rebounds still because he just goes for the ball more than other guys, but there were times where he didn't box out. He got blown by. He was gambling a little bit too much, and just his lack of confidence in his shot from wherever it is can be very frustrating at times. And then you have Brook Lopez, who had 15 points and 3 rebounds in 17 minutes, 1 steal, 2 turnovers on 5 for 12 shooting and 5 for 11 from 3. I thought he did some good things. You saw the pick and pop ability, but the first couple minutes where he came in, he just looked soft and like slow. And he's slow and old, but those lazy handoffs, like, come on, man, strong passes. John Collins, he wasn't bad. 14 points, 7 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 2 blocks, 2 turnovers on 6 for 12 shooting, 1 for 2 from 3, and 1 for 2 from the foul line. So 50-50-50 splits. He man, I don't know if he should start. I'll probably do an episode on that. But in tonight's game, like maybe it should be matchup dependent. Maybe we should start him some games instead, when there's two bigs kind of deal. But we'll see if Ty makes an adjustment there. And the starters. Derrick Jones Jr. had 12 points, 1 rebound, and 1 assist to go along with 1 block and 1 turnover on 5 for 7 shooting, 1 for 3 from deep, and 1 for 2 from the foul line. And then Bradley Beal, his debut was pretty underwhelming. Just a whole lot of fouls. He only shot 5 times, and I get he was on a minutes restriction, but it's going to be interesting to see the shot distribution. We got a lot of cooks in the kitchen. Is he going to be in rhythm? Are we going to run plays for him? Is that going to take away from Kawhi? I don't know. But all I do know is that we had to swing the ball quicker. We had to just be more aggressive offensively with our 3-point attempts when we got them. So Bradley Beal with 5 points, 1 rebound, and 1 steal, 1 turnover on 2 for 5 shooting and 1 for 4 from deep. So a pretty underwhelming debut. And then you have the big three. Zubats, 19 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 block, 2 turnovers on 9 for 13 shooting and made his only free throw. I think Zoo grew into the game, but he came out with terrible energy defensively. He was just not good enough on the glass or on defense all night long. I thought he grew into the game on offense, but there were moments, and I'm going to watch this, when he gets hedged on the ball screens, or I'm sorry, when they hedge on the ball screens with James Harden, and Zoo gets the ball in the short roll, they're going to start swarming him now that people know how good he is. He needs to not just go up every time over 2 guys. He needs to also look for the kick out sometimes. I saw sometimes he was not seeing the open man there. And then James Harden, 15 points, 2 boards, 11 assists, 2 turnovers on 5 for 12 shooting, 2 for 9 from 3. He was 3 for 3 from 2. So just too many threes. The step back 3 sometimes, like when things aren't going our way and he shoots that when he can easily get downhill on someone, is very frustrating. 3 for 4 from the foul line. And then Kawhi, good performance according to one dude in the comments. 10 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, and 2 turnovers on 3 for 9 shooting, 1 for 5 from 3, and 3 for 3 from the foul line. That's not even to mention his horrific defense. So that's all I got. That's all I got. And if you're wondering, am I going to talk about any other games tonight? No, I didn't get to watch any yet, so I'll watch them. Maybe I'll go live tomorrow afternoon. Maybe. I don't know. I'm doing a members-only live every single week on Wednesday at noon to talk about other teams around the league. And also it's a live call-in. So if you want to be able to talk to me on the live, become a member. And also if you want to support your boy, just become a member, dude. I'm not getting paid enough for this, dude. Are you kidding? But anyway, I understand, not everybody's able to pay, but it'll be worth it. I promise it'll be worth your while. So anyway, that's it for me tonight, guys. Now to the live subscribers waiting patiently in the chat. I'll be watching some other games. I don't know if I'll go live tomorrow. If you haven't checked out my predictions video, check that out. I predicted my standings prediction for both conferences. If you haven't checked out my Dodger vlog, it has 30,000 views. Shohei Ohtani's special night, one of the highest viewed videos in channel history. And then also a Chargers vlog that's got 4,000 views. So check that out. It was a good experience. So yeah, I also went live last night to talk about Lakers Warriors and briefly talked about Thunder Rockets, but I did a playback today that you can watch on the replays for playback with my man Jacob here in the comments where we watched the Rockets Thunder game. So all my thoughts on these games are out. I'm trying to be very, very diligent this season. First season since after my house burned down. So I'm trying to be better. So peace out, everybody. Have a great night. And no live tomorrow, I guess. Maybe, you know what? We'll go live tomorrow to talk about, we'll go live at 10 o'clock Pacific and we'll talk about other teams around the league. Peace. All right, y'all. I see the comments. Wait, we got 13,000 subs? Okay, look, if you guys have a Twitter handle, please put your handle in the comments so I can give you a shout out tomorrow when I post my clip of this video. Let me write you guys down. I'm not going to read all the comments this year because it's just too much for me. I don't have all that time. If you really want to comment, your comment to be shown, super chats, bruh. I'm sorry. There's too many. There's 100 people in here, and I appreciate all of you very much. I really do. I see you guys in here. Jacob the Clipper, Ryan Garcia, J Dub, Uzair Khan, Andrew Kassar. I appreciate all you guys very much. You know that. So let's see what we got. All right. Let's see who's on Twitter. We got Uzi Khan, got Jacob. We got J Dub. What's your Twitter account, bro? J Dog. I said J Dub. J Dog. My man Mork Blue is in here. Lakers World Order. You guys should definitely subscribe to him. Definitely subscribe to my man Empire Jeff right here. He's an LA sports content creator. You got to support all the LA sports guys. Empire Jeff. Anthony could be anyone. Ezra Johnson, I appreciate your comments, brother. Tariq Hakeem, I appreciate your comments as well. Bunit Shima, do you have a Twitter account? Joshua Venturina, I want to go to the game Friday, but man, no, you got to come, bro. Come on. Are you kidding? Ace Boogie, appreciate you. Were you Judge Judy? Yeah, you're right. We did look worse than the Lakers. That's for sure. My man Dump Ring. AJ, still haven't met you yet, bro. Himothy says, I'm not a fan of Beal and Harden lineup. It's one game, though, bro. Danny Sanchez, you have a Twitter account? What's your Twitter, bro? I be forgetting. Or you're on Instagram only. You messaged me on Instagram. As a Nuggets fan, last year we lost. But listen, you lost to the Wizards not on opening night, though, Liz. Eden, what's up, Eden? You gonna be there? Am I gonna see you on Friday? Bogey over Beal after one game? Relax. Come on now. Settle down, Mike Smith. Gotta give it to you. You're super honest with your team and not like others. Nuggets fans were living with Jamal Murray. Yeah, I mean, I'd be a little bit nicer if these guys won a ring like Jamal Murray. Wow, Beal shouldn't be starting. Junebug, my man. Agree, they just got lucky, but that's no excuse. Can't say they fully got lucky. Andrew Kassar, I see you, brother. Beal should be our sixth man, says Eden. I'm with you. But they made it. They did the Russ thing where they promised him something. Stop with this. Yeah. Jermaine O'Neal. Is it the real Jermaine O'Neal? Just kidding. We are winning the championship easily, he says. Wow. Go Dodgers. Damn right. To infinity and beyond. Shout out Buzz Lightyear. Oh, you're right. It's Phoenix. I'm stupid. We're playing Phoenix next. Portland's on Sunday. Yeah. Phoenix. Well, if we better beat Phoenix. Didn't they come back and win tonight? Yeah, no, I saw Norman Powell at 28 points. Relax, bro. Relax with that bad trade stuff. Norman Powell he's good, man. I love Norman Powell. Oh, okay, thank you. At the Danny Boy 562. Bro, T Draves, do you think that T Draves, do you think Jeff Van Gundy's not preaching that same shit this year? Like, it's not like he left the team. The team just didn't play well. Danny Boy, thank you for writing this. 562. Got you. Jacob the Clipper, hated by most of Clipper Twitter. Yeah, although Clipper Twitter, half of them are not even real Clipper fans. Oh, before we get off, I'm going to delete this portion of the live, but we'll look at some plays tonight, right? I'm going to show you guys some plays. Let's look at this shit. By the way, write in the comments, what teams do you want me to hear me talk about, like that are not Clippers and Lakers around the league? I'll tell you the ones that I want to talk about. Raptors, Hawks, Rockets, Mavs, Spurs. A little bit of Philly when Paul comes back. And a little bit of Sacramento with Russ. That's about it, though. Everybody else is not that interesting. Maybe a little bit of Magic with Desmond Bane, but I think after the first 10 games or so, we'll be fine with them. Yeah, Rockets, Spurs. I'm with you on this, guys. I'm definitely trying to tap into their games. A little bit of Portland too, but mainly Rockets, Spurs, Houston, Hawks, and Raptors. But not when Brandon Ingram doesn't play. I'm only interested in Brandon Ingram. Yes, I think the Utah trash are still trash. I'm standing by that, Andrew. Sixers only when Paul George comes back. But anyway. Why is it not showing the comments? The fuck? All right, whatever. Okay. I know it's tweaking. But anyway, I'm going to pull up some plays real quick so you guys can see with the abomination that I'm talking about. Okay. Let's take a look at this first. Okay. Can you guys see my screen? All right, now it's working. Okay, you guys can see my screen, right? Let's mute this, John. Okay, take a look at this. Look at Kawhi. Ball goes up. He doesn't even see the ball. He's just staring at him. Offensive rebound. What does it lead to? Look at Beal and James Harden. Miscommunication. Two guys running to a guy off ball. Their best player's open for three. That's ridiculous. But you know what? First play, first 30 seconds. Not a big deal. What else we got? And then this. Look at this look at this lack of attention to detail. Kawhi Leonard misses a shot. And then look at us getting back. Kawhi points for someone to take his man, and nobody responds. Nobody. Look at this. Like, Zoo should be taking him because Derrick Jones Jr. is probably going to pick up. Kawhi should probably pick up right here. Derrick is probably going to pick up here. Zoo or Derrick, one of them has to see this. I mean, this is ridiculous. What a way to start the game. What else I want to see? Here we go. How about this? How about this? Kawhi getting ready for the screen, top side. Just gets back cut. Just gets back cut. There's got to be some help there to some degree. I will say, like, Bradley Beal's got to do something. He's just standing still right there. He's got to try to do something, but come on, Kawhi. Do we really need to be guarding Larry Markkinen like that? Like, you can't lock and trail him on the screen? That's crazy. Okay. And then what else we got? Let's do a couple more. Let's see. What minute are we at here in the live? We'll end at 45 minutes. What else we got? Okay, so that was the alley-oop, right? Walker Kessler made a three. I mean, you know, that's going to happen. And let's take a look at this one. Okay. This time he trails Kawhi instead of playing him topside. But he reaches for that steal, and now look how far out of the picture he is. Then again, Bradley Beal, there's no weak side rotation. I know that's a little bit of ground to cover, but he's just standing there ball watching. But that's all because Kawhi's reaching and, like, putting us in a disadvantage there. I'm telling you, Kawhi played like ass. Like, what are you guys watching? If those of you that are defending him on this, I don't understand. And then he loses the ball. Let's see what happens here. Look. It's a good screen, right? Maybe Zoo should sink and a little bit to help Kawhi out. But look at Kawhi's energy and his effort getting over it. Like right here, he's too casual. It's jogging. That's not sprinting. And Beal, like, what kind of steal attempt was that? Like, it's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous, man. Are you guys seeing this? Are you guys seeing this? I hope you're seeing it because it's actually disgraceful. What else we got?
Remember in San Antonio.
Honestly, you know what I should do? I'm just going to do this. I'm just going to look up all the Jazz's made field goals in the quarter. I'm just going to look at it like that. Yeah. 16 out of 20. Oh, my goodness. All right, let's take a look. All right, we already saw that. So let's skip to that, into that.
Kawhi parks in the corner, throws up.
Okay, let's get rid of that. 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 All right, that's the one we just saw. All right, let's see what happens here. We hedge on this Zubac, so that means Kawhi needs to be able to take Walker Kessler away. He gets there, but he's just, like, too small, I guess. I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on with Kawhi. It's a nice little move by Walker Kessler, to be honest with you. And let's see. This is one. Look, here we go. What? That wasn't a made field goal. All right. Okay, he goes under the screen. James Harden just gets beat off the dribble. There's nothing you can say about that. He just doesn't guard one-on-one like that. All right, let's see here. Scramble. Look at Zoo. No idea where Walker Kessler's at on that scramble. It's the second time in the quarter. Okay, we switched that out. I mean, this one, look, it's not in the scouting report. Good for Walker Kessler. That's all I can say about that. It's a swing. Oh, it was just a bad pass there. I was out of bounds. Why are they showing us this? If this wasn't a made field goal. There we go. CP3 getting over the screen. Not bad. It's just a good shot. You just got to not foul him there. It's a good shot, though. You might need Zoo to step up, but you don't think Walter Clayton's going to make that in his first game. Look at that weak handoff by Chris Paul. Like, what is going on? And so we should be. The Chris Dunn reaches, just gets blown by. Like, what the fuck? What was happening? That's a good shot. That's a good shot. That's enough. All right. You see it. Anyway, I'll see you guys probably tomorrow night. Peace. Thank you for joining me, by the way, guys. Comment what you think in the comments below.